What is going on, guys? Welcome to What's New with the crew once again, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about factions, and the reason I want to do that is because they released a big massive Q&A, which I'll link in the description if you want to check it out yourself in Word form, and they gave us a lot more information on how these factions work, what these factions are, lots of other things like that, so I'm pretty sure you guys will want to hear about that. And obviously the rewards you get from taking part in these faction missions. So how do you unlock factions? The way you unlock factions is by going through the main progression of the game. You will be introduced to the Wolves and Eagles, which are the first two factions, by going to the Dirt Tuner in New York. So that's pretty early on, level 10, you get your new dirt car, you're introduced to these two new factions to do these faction missions, which means you get a lot of dosh, basically. So the other factions in the game, which we'll unlock later on in the progression, you get the crocodiles, snakes, and bears. So as you can imagine, the specs, I would say, tie into these, so you kind of need certain specs for certain areas, because let's say you're going to race through the desert, you're gonna need a raid spec car. Can't wait to do that. Really going to try that as soon as I get on. So, what do the factions unlock for us to do? I'll tell you that too, my friends. So the factions unlock 4 special missions in each region and a bonus mission, which we'll come back to in a minute. So these missions you can play, and you basically go up in ranks in your region or in your faction. And the 4 missions are as follows. There's one short mission which goes on for about 10 minutes. There's one medium mission that goes on from 10 to 30 minutes. A long mission that goes on for about 60 minutes. And an epic mission that goes on for more than 2 hours. I honestly cannot wait to try the one epic mission on each territory, because I'm going to do that. I don't know how the heck I'm going to make those into videos, but we will figure that out. And the bonus mission will take you about 10 minutes and will have a higher reward. So, that's most of the bulk information out there. Basically, factions will unlock these missions for you to try you do these missions, and you will go up in ranks inside your faction and against other factions. And the more you contribute towards your faction, the more rewards you will get as you progress through this game. So it's basically an end game reward system. So the rewards you will get are books in the game, is obviously money or the in-game currency, and reputation inside your faction. Who can play these missions? Anyone that is affiliated to a faction, no matter what his or her level. Note that the faction's mission difficulty will scale on the level of the player. So the player that has the highest level, the AI is going to be around the same level as that, so keep that in mind. Now, you're probably thinking, is it possible to play with other people in different factions? So yes, it will be possible, but you'll get points for your own faction. So you'll kind of be, I don't know, you'd be co-oping, but if they were in a different faction, you'd also be technically helping them if you do really well. So keep that in mind. Now, how does this work? Climbing the ladder of the faction by getting more reputation will grant you with more books or money in-game. So defeating other factions will allow you to control a region and unlock the bonus faction mission. Every month a new faction war starts between the 5 factions. At the end of the month, the faction that will control a region will be the only one to have access to the bonus mission of that region. If a faction controls 5 regions, then it will be the only one to have access to the 5 bonus missions. So, in reality, in basic, rather than reading and reading and reading, the more area you control and the more you contribute towards your faction, the more money you will receive for taking part in this type of activity. So, it's more for the veterans. Once you've finished the progression path of the game, completed the story, got yourself the best kitted out car you could ever want, you can go out and get your platinum parts, do your faction missions, get a lot more money, and this is obviously gonna be a great way for you to play the game once you finish the main progression line. Another way you'll be able to contribute towards your faction is by doing PvP races. When you enter a PvP lobby, you'll be able to choose to enter in faction mode or enter in normal mode, and this will, differ on how much money you get and how much reward you get and how it all works and such. If you enter a PvP lobby with a friend that's in a different faction, that friend will be put into the other faction's team, so you're racing against each other. So you're not really racing with your friend. Well, you are, but you know what I mean. So if you're in the same faction, you'll be on the same team, so that's how it all works. So obviously, doing PvP races will also contribute towards your score in the faction, along with your friends if they're in there as well. So there's a link in the description, as I said, that's going to give you all the information you need to know. I gave you a couple of bits of information that I think is quite important to all the faction system. There's all the little tiny details you will ever need in this post build, so make sure you do check it out if you are looking for more information. Anyway, this has been BlackPanthaa. If you did find anything useful, please give it a like and let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully, you'll stick around and subscribe. Peace.